In the world of football, few milestones have captured the global imagination quite like Pele's 1000th goal. It was celebrated with fireworks, parades, and headlines. But what if we told you that the goal everyone celebrated wasn't actually his 1000th? It was the 14th of November, 1969, a quiet Friday night in the northeast Brazilian city of João Pessoa. Santos FC, home to the world's greatest player, Pele, were playing a low-stakes friendly against Botafogo de Paraíba. The stadium, humble and weathered, held 20,000 eager fans, mostly there for one reason: to witness football history. At the 17th minute, Pele stepped up to take a penalty. It wasn't a great shot, more of a scruffy scuff into the bottom corner. But it was enough to put Santos 1-0 up. They went on to win 3-0. But more importantly, that goal was marked as Pele's 999th senior goal. Or was it? 5 days later, Santos traveled south to Rio de Janeiro to play Vasco da Gama in a Taça de Prata Cup match at the Maracanã. It was as if the entire country held its breath. Every TV station, every radio broadcaster, every journalist crammed the touchlines, desperate to capture the historic moment. The rain fell in sheets, but no one cared. This was Pele. This was Brazil's son. And in the 78th minute, the moment finally arrived. Another penalty, not a screamer, not a miracle, just a smooth stroke into the right corner. Not exactly the kind of goal befitting a legend. But it counted. The stadium exploded. Santos won 2-1, but no one remembered the score. Thousands swarmed the pitch. Pele was lifted shoulder high and paraded like a god. For Brazil, it was euphoria. For days, Rio celebrated. The newspapers gave Pele's goal the same prominence as Apollo 12's lunar landing, which, by the way, happened that same week. In that moment, Pele's 1000th goal wasn't just about football, it was about national pride, identity, and joy. But here's the twist. More than 25 years later, a Brazilian journalist decided to do what no one had dared. He audited Pele's goal tally. And there, buried in the dusty archives, he found it, a forgotten goal. Scored in 1959, during a South American military cup match against Paraguay. Brazil won 4-1. Pele scored. But somehow, it had never made the books. This meant only one thing. That goal in João Pessoa, the scruffy penalty against Botafogo de Paraíba, was Pele's actual 1000th, not the glitzy one in Rio. Not the one lifted high by flashbulbs and frenzy. Was it really so surprising? In those days, Santos would play anyone, anywhere, if the money was right. Local clubs in Asia, army teams in Europe, all-star squads in Africa. Some counted the goals. Some didn't. Some wrote them in notebooks. Others forgot them entirely. As Diego Maradona once joked to Pele on a TV show, "Who did you score them against? Your nephews in the backyard?" And more recently, Cristiano Ronaldo, never one for subtlety, said, "At least when I hit 1000, there'll be video evidence of every one." Pele, ever the gentleman, shrugged it off. In 1995, Pele spoke about the controversy. "Thank goodness the controversy is not about deciding whether or not I scored 1000 goals. For me it doesn't matter whether I scored my 1000th goal against Vasco or not. It's already been done, but to one man. It did matter, Derivaldo Mendonça, a city councillor in João Pessoa. Before the match, he'd struck a deal with Pele. If you score tonight, give me your shirt." After that 17th minute penalty, Pele did something odd. Suddenly, the Santos goalkeeper became sick, theatrically leaving the field. And guess who took his place in goal? That's right, Pele. Some say he didn't want to score again in a remote corner of Brazil. That he wanted the 1000th to happen at the Maracanã instead. Before donning the keeper's gloves, Pele walked over to Mendonça and said, "There's your jersey, Mr. Councillor. Thy will is done." That same shirt, now authenticated as the true 1000th goal shirt, stayed in Mendonça's family for years. Eventually, it passed to a childhood friend, Steve Santos Barlow, who had watched the game as a 10-year-old. Now, it's set to go under the hammer at a Wembley auction. Estimates? £500,000. Far more than Pele's World Cup winning jerseys from 1958 and 1970. But still shy of the £7 million paid for Maradona's Hand of God shirt. In truth, the numbers have never really mattered. Whether Pele scored 1,000, 1,279, or even 1,430, his impact goes beyond goals. He was the first global superstar of football, a magician with a ball, a man who brought joy to millions. And now, a mud-stained, sweat-soaked, unwashed number 10 shirt tells a deeper story, not just of a goal, but of legacy, memory, and myth. Because sometimes, the real magic in football isn't the goal that was, but the one that almost wasn't.